Just having one webinar a week where they're seeing Scam Profit. People are seeing it every single day, and we're running traffic to that webinar every single day. So that's how we went from like 0 to 868 pretty fast. And I was okay with receiving like 20 to 30K a month from these partners. And then one day I realized, I was like, if they're sending me 30K a month checks, like I wonder how much money I'm making them.
If we can spend the next 2 months onboarding these influencers, offload 50% of the traffic to influencers, bro, we triple our valuation.
Millionaires have 7 streams of income. That's not necessarily true in the fact that you need 7 streams of income to become a millionaire. Millionaires diversify their income once they have a lot of money. But for you to first get a lot of money, you have to put your blood, sweat, tears, everything into one opportunity until it grows into a big bag of money.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Aleem, founder at Ambitious Labs, and today I have a really exciting guest here in Miami, Florida. Here with me today is serial 8-figure entrepreneur, William Rivera. William is a really interesting character because he has crushed every level of the online entrepreneurship game and now just pretty much beat the level of SaaS. Super excited to tell the world about William's story. William, thanks so much for joining me here.
Appreciate you having me, bro.
Bro, so this one is crazy because I literally met you the night before Thanksgiving at the gym locker room. I knew exactly who you were because I'm in the online money game. I've seen you all over. People know you. And I was like, bro, that's William Rivera. So I'm with my little brother, and I just bolt straight toward you. And I go, I need to dap up William right now and introduce myself. I had just left PrizePicks like a year ago, a year before this whole journey of building Ambitious Labs. And I was like, bro, I need to find like high leverage creators to build products for. So I bolted toward you and I was like, yo, William, what's up? My name's Aleem. I run my own info business and I build mobile apps. I think I just said something like, if you ever need help with a mobile app, just text me or call me. Yeah. I think you were super cool. You asked me a couple of questions about where I was in my info business. And I said, oh, we're doing like 200K a month, but I build apps. So just let me know if you have any work for me or if anything comes up. So I dapped you up and that was it. And I think 2 or 3 weeks later, I'm chilling at home eating dinner, and I get a text from you saying, yo, you free for a call? And I was like, sure, bro. And I think you like got me on a call, or you added me to a group chat, and you're like, yo, bro, I've been trying to build this mobile app for a while. These Indian developers overseas have my shit hostage. I need your help. And I was like, holy shit, bro, I didn't even know you were working on this. I think we got on a call, and then you just gave me the whole rundown. So, I mean, that's how I got to know you. Fast forward 4 months later, we scaled Scam Profit to just shy of $1 million ARR 4 months after meeting you in the locker room. So that is how I know you. But I would love for you to introduce yourself to the world and tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's crazy. I forgot that we actually met that way. True story for all of you guys watching this. But yeah, my name's William Rivera. Like you said, I've been in the online space for a while, for the past 7 years. Online coaching space with a company called ecomdegree.com, where we teach people how to build profitable online businesses, mainly in the Amazon sector. And right now we have over 20,000 clients. And for the longest time, I was like still am the biggest in the Amazon space, but I wasn't leveraging SaaS. Like I was pretty much, making so much money with the coaching side. We were doing like $2 million a month at one point.
Damn.
That I was just focused on that, and I was okay with being an affiliate for a lot of these other softwares out there. So, because I was basically using the other tools that were out there, and I was promoting them within my webinar, and I was okay with receiving like 20 to 30K a month from these partners. And then one day I realized, I was like, if they're sending me 30K a month checks, like I wonder how much money I'm making them. Damn. And also in the beginning, when I got started in coaching, I also didn't have that much money. So SaaS wasn't even in like my point of view at all. But then when I started making money and I started realizing how much money I was making these affiliate companies, I was like, you know what, like I should probably look into building a software and have all of my clients start using it as well. So
interesting.
That's a little bit about me and like how we got started.
Damn, that's crazy. So a lot of info coaching and education business owners right now are also struggling with the whole start from zero problem. I know you've been talking about it a lot recently.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm talking about when I say the start from zero problem?
Like start from?
Like how every month in info coaching, you have to start from zero.
Oh yeah. That's the worst. It's, coaching is great. It's a very high profit margin model if you do it the right way. But at scale, your margins start to thin out and your lead costs start to go up which is why your margin thins out. And if you don't have like a SaaS in the back end, there's really not that much profit on the front end.
For sure.
And then every single month, like you said, you start at zero.
Yeah.
Unless you have a SaaS.
Absolutely.
Which is like, we're at the point now where our SaaS, I don't know if you know this, but our SaaS is actually like our most profitable business, margin-wise.
Margin-wise.
You know, we do make a lot of money with info, but like we have to start at zero every single month. Facebook leads are not getting cheaper year over year.
Yeah.
And obviously the market is getting more and more competitive. So
for sure,
you have to be really, really good at what you do to make money in info nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, totally, bro. Like I had my biggest month ever running my accelerator program where we teach people how to build their own SaaS companies and mobile apps. We crushed it in February. I think we were like all in 195K.
Yeah.
And we busted our ass to hit that. We had like 4 setters, 3 account executives. I'm working in fulfillment. We have a huge fulfillment team. We crushed it. We're super happy at like the 1st of March. But then we're like, shit, we got to start all over again. Mm-hmm. And the momentum was really hard to keep. I think one of our setters left. One of our closers got sick. One of them had like a mental health episode because they were busting so hard. And we just had to start from zero. And that honestly really discouraged me. Like it was really amazing to have scaled the company to like 200K in that month. But I was like, damn, bro, if only that 177K or the 190K that we generated was like net new MRR. Like imagine if every month we were just stacking 170 MRR, we'd be the kings. Like we'd be crushing it. So it gets me in my head sometimes where I'm like, damn, like I love education because I get to change so many people's lives and it's great cash flow. But I hate that I have to start from zero every single month. So funnels are super, super tricky. I think one reason that Scam Profit does so well is because we have a lot of trust built in the funnel that you've put together. We'll talk more about funnels hopefully later in the conversation, but talk to me about how when you first came up with the idea, you knew you wanted to get into SaaS and you said that you wanted to, instead of paying out these affiliates 30%, you wanted to build your own. What did you do? What was the first steps that you took to try to build this SaaS?
Yeah, so I was at the point where I was doing a webinar every single week, and we were putting 5,000 people a week into that one webinar. And on this webinar, I was using this Amazon tool, which was a simple tool to see like what the profit margin of the product was.
Okay.
And how many units it was selling a month. And that was the company that was paying me like 30K plus every single month. Damn. Because I had an affiliate link with them, and I was just using it on every single webinar. So imagine 5,000 people seeing that SaaS every single week. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it got to the point where I was like, you know what? Like I have enough money, I think. I didn't even know how much it would cost to start a SaaS. I was like, I was thinking that it was going to cost like millions of dollars. Okay. But I was at the point where I was like, okay, if it does cost that, like I'm willing to take the risk and start my own. And at first I was like, you know, I just want to create something that's a little bit better than this. Like if I can at least match what this is, make it a little bit better, then I'm confident to just push my audience to this instead.
For sure.
And that's kind of how it started. One of my friends introduced me to a developer that had built like a Chrome extension for him. Mm. And I started telling him about the idea, what I was trying to do. And he just started building it. I paid like 10 grand. And actually I didn't pay him 10 grand. I paid another company from Israel, I think.
Oh, wow.
50 grand.
Oh, really?
And they built it. It didn't work. It took forever.
Oh,
and
God.
then I was like, okay, scratch that. Like y'all are taking forever and it's not even what I want it to be. Then my friend introduced me to the guy from India.
Yeah.
I paid him 10 grand. He actually made some progress, but it still wasn't like what I wanted it to be.
For sure.
And then I kind of just gave up on it. Like it was something that I really wanted to push. Like I think I started working on it in 2022.
Oh, wow.
And I really wanted to get it out. But when I saw that it was so complicated to actually finish and that I didn't have a good team to complete the project, I just started focusing on info again.
Oh, wow.
And I kind of forgot about it until I ran into you. Mm-hmm. Until you came to me and you were like, yo, I build mobile apps. You sparked the idea back in my head. And I was like, fuck, like I have an unfinished project that I've spent 6 figures on that I need to finish.
I got you. Yeah, that is crazy. We've talked to a couple other people as well. I mean, our whole mission at Ambitious Labs has always been to like empower entrepreneurs to bring their app and SaaS ideas to life. I have done that myself. I've hired developers in India my entire career. I started my journey in software by like hiring developers in India and like reselling them. I'm Indian, and bro, I'll never hire a developer from India because like Indians are very entrepreneurial, and like you'll always be running into a middleman. Like you'll try to hire somebody on Upwork, and it's like a middleman cutting into a middleman, cutting into a middleman, who then hires the developer. And bro, it's such a war room out there, especially if you don't know how to build tech companies and speak the language of software development. It is very hard to know who's bullshitting you and who's not. I also think there's a huge difference, bro, in like building a SaaS and then building a software company, or like building an app idea and building a startup. There are a lot of things that people don't account for, like, you know, how to optimize your conversion rate, how to keep users coming back, how to send push notifications, emails, you know, how to look at data and analytics. Like you see our group chat, like I'm always dropping screenshots of analytics. You know, we got Zion and the whole product team who are like super data driven, because you do a great job pushing a ton of traffic, but that's just like one piece of the puzzle. It's definitely the most important piece of the puzzle. But if you're not looking at how users are interacting with your SaaS, what features they're interacting with, and what features you should improve, like you're not going to build a sustainable company that has a lot of enterprise value. So yeah, bro, like our mission has always been to like empower the entrepreneur. This model where we work with creators, influencers, and education business owners like you is very new. You're actually the first founder in the Venture Lab. And like, I truly think that this is a model that really helps you guys, because I know firsthand the problem that education businesses, you know, have. So like, you found me, we ended up building it, and literally, bro, within 4 months, we went from 0 to I think 868K ARR. Mm-hmm. How did we do that? Like, bro, to be honest, I just bet on you. Like, I didn't have, I was just like, bro, I just want to work with William. I think I told you to pay some amount of money, and I just said, I'm going to go all in. I didn't make any money on like what I did for you. I was just like, bro, I want to work with Will.
Right.
Next thing you know, I launched this app, betting all on you, and we just fucking blew up. Like, bro, the hockey stick was just straight up. And I'm like, dude, who is this guy, Will? What is he even doing on the traffic side? I didn't even know what traffic you were running to it, and we just rocketed. So how are we even getting users on Scam Profit right now?
Yeah, I mean, it was mutual. Like how you bet on me to just funnel traffic, I bet on you to create the product and make sure that people would stick. So me, I've always been good at creating traffic. Like I'm a marketer, and I already had a funnel that was profitable and that was working. I was the same funnel that was making these other companies, I don't even know how much money, but they were sending me 30K a month, right? They could have been making probably 10X that, 20X that. So I just took their software out of my webinar and I inserted Scam Profit into it. So now every single week, as I'm showing people how to sell on Amazon, because I do a free training every week, they were learning how to find products using Scam Profit, which is our software. And that's initially how the traffic started getting pushed to the app. And then obviously in my program, I replaced all of the softwares that we were using in the course with mine. So that was like the first startup of the traffic. And then we actually scaled my info company to the point where instead of doing one webinar a week, we started doing one every single day. We automated the whole business. So that helped as well, because now instead of, you know, just having one webinar a week where they're seeing Scam Profit, people are seeing it every single day, and we're running traffic to that webinar every single day. So that's how we went from like 0 to 868 pretty fast.
Okay.
And again, it helps having someone that allows me to just focus on my strength, right? Mm-hmm. My strength is marketing, driving traffic, ads, and then yours was, you know, building the software, making sure that they stick, making sure that the conversion rates are high. And then I think that's pretty much how we scaled so fast. So
the thing that a lot of first time and even, you know, some experienced marketers learn the hard way is like trust is really important in the marketing funnel, right? Like you can run an ad and just send it straight to a mobile app and it's not going to convert. But you have a webinar funnel, right? So you have ad to webinar, and then people listen to you for an hour or two, then they maybe purchase something else and they go, you know, into your higher ticket program. But the thing that I think makes the traffic such high converting is that they're spending an hour or two with you. And I'm pretty sure you're teaching them like the manual way of finding profitable products. And you're like, hey, this is the manual way of doing it. This is why it works. Go download Scam Profit. This is the automated way of doing it. Is that about right? Yeah, exactly. Because they're on that webinar with me for an hour and they get to build trust and they get to see that I actually understand what I'm doing, then they're more willing to use any tools that I tell them to use. So I'm pretty sure, I don't know exactly what the conversion rate on the webinar to download is, but I'm sure it's very high. Yeah. It's kind of like when you're in school and you go to open house and like you meet all your teachers.
and they give you a supply list, you don't question the supply list, right? It's like, okay, but I need to order this. I need to buy this calculator TI, whatever the fuck. It's like, okay, I need that to take the class. You don't question the teacher whether or not you need it or not.
Oh my
So
God.
I have that
game.
same frame on the webinar. It's like, hey, I'm the instructor here, and if you want to reach this goal, this is your supply list.
Wow.
And Scam Profit is number one on it. So.
Yo,
Yeah.
that's so fire. Like, you don't question the teacher supply list. And if you don't get the right supplies, you're not going to pass the test. Your
Yeah.
teacher's going to be pissed at you.
You're
and you're going to
correct.
look like the odd one out. And you're going to be like, why can't I do my homework? Well, it's because you don't have the TI-84 that you need with the special function in it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, that's fire. Very, very cool. So on the SaaS now, you teach that, people use it. We get a lot of people now who come through your funnel. We're actually involved in your Discord. So like, we're obviously partners in the business. Like, we don't just come in and like build you an app and say, hey, like, you know, take this app. Like, we're actually partners on this. We run our own workshops like in your community. I think last month we did like a live show for your community. We had like 100 or 200 people in there. And we were just like, hey guys, we're the founders of Scam Profit. We just wanted to come in here and get your guys' feedback. And your community was so passionate, and they had such great feature ideas. They were so passionate about like being able to see who was behind the product, that retention increased by 10% last month. Churn dropped from like wherever it was by like 10% just because we showed our face.
Yeah.
So like, a lot of people can't crack this code of building trust, especially when they launch software companies. And I think like that's something that we do really well. Like, I like being able to talk to your users, and your users gave us probably like 2 months worth of work to do because they were like, we need this, we need this, we need this. And so now like our goal is to just keep retention as high as we can. We are running some experiments, right? A/B testing like the onboarding flow, testing different pricing, and figuring out like what our vision is for the target market that we want to go after, right? I think Scam Profit, I think you pitched me this is why I got excited. I want Scam Profit to be in the same folder on your phone as like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Airbnb, whatever gig-based like money-making apps are out there. I want Scam Profit to be in that. I think you were the one that pitched me this, right?
Yeah, because at first, I think you were kind of in the frame of just making it like an Amazon tool, like making it the best Amazon tool. And then I was more so like, if we do that, we can easily do that because there's not that many great tools out there.
For sure.
But the TAM in that market isn't that big.
Right.
Whereas if you compete with companies like DoorDash and Uber Eats and just make it like you said, like a gig, make money type app, then it just opens you up to millions and millions of people. And the concept of making money with the app is so simple that it is actually an alternative to driving Uber or delivering food on DoorDash. Like, instead of doing that, you can just take your phone, go into a store like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, like these discount stores, and just scan the barcode of a product, and you'll instantly know whether that product is profitable to sell on Amazon or not. And we're doing that instead of Uber or DoorDash actually makes you like a real business owner, and you
Right.
still work on your own clock.
Interesting. So one of like our next big sprints is like optimizing time to first money online. That's something that we're going to show you later in our product roadmap. But strategically, we've noticed that a lot of these are novice, kind of intermediate Amazon sellers. And most of them are setting up their LLCs for the first time. They're setting up their Amazon accounts for the first time. And bro, it's in all of our best interest to get them their first dollar online, right? Imagine when you first made your first dollar online. That
Right.
feeling is insane. Obviously, we've made a few $1 million online, so that feeling is kind of numbed off for us. But what people don't get is the average person who's never made money online just dreams of unlocking even a couple dollars of revenue, and they've never felt that before. I have people in my accelerator program who, when they launch their apps and they make their first $50, their life has changed. Like, they've unlocked this limitless opportunity. So we say that same thing for our Scam Profit customers, because at the end of the day, they came onto the app to find profitable products, and the niche that we're going after is retail arbitrage, right? So this whole sprint that we're doing now is like, how do we gamify the experience of like making your first dollar on Amazon and then beyond? So, we're about to pitch you like an entire strategy for, okay, you come on to Scam Profit, you get a badge for finding your first profitable product, you link your Amazon account, and then we track your store performance, and then we make leaderboards and all kinds of stuff. We do live sessions. We could even do, a challenge in there where you complete these items and you make your first dollar online. These are all things that we're trying to optimize for, and the goal is to get people their first money online. The reason I want this strategy is because at PrizePicks, which, we just had a huge outcome, I was the head mobile engineer back when we were first scaling up. We just had like 2,000 or 3,000 users on the platform when I joined PrizePicks. And our biggest KPI that we focused on was not just first time deposit. Obviously, we want people to make a deposit, but first win. We needed a user to win in their first 7 days. Because if they lost, they'd be like, screw this app. Like, we don't want to come here. We would take the hit on losing some money to the customer just to make them happy. And we always optimize toward them making money, because there's no better feeling in the world than making money, right? And so I guess you built a 8-figure Amazon education company, and I bet you that you also focused on driving success and driving results. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to me about some of the results that your students have seen, and why it makes you so confident in investing all in on helping people start Amazon businesses?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started, which was back in 2018, we actually didn't teach Amazon. We were teaching Shopify dropshipping, which is a way more complex model. That's actually how I made my first 6 figures online. Mm-hmm. But with Shopify, you have to actually learn how to run ads, because you're building a website from scratch that nobody has ever heard of, a brand from scratch pretty much. And then you're selling products from China, so there's shipping problems there too. And we were able to get people results with that model. Then when I found out about Amazon, the wholesale and retail arbitrage model specifically, where you could buy products that are discounted from big name brands that people already know, like, and trust.
Right.
And you can simply just list them on Amazon and they'll sell like this because it's a well-known brand like Fiji or Logitech.
For sure.
I had a breakthrough, because I was like, if we were able to help people pretty much build brands from scratch and then learn paid advertising, which is hard as hell to learn, we can teach them how to do this.
Right.
And when we transitioned into Amazon, that's actually when my info business blew up, because we had so many success stories all over YouTube, just everywhere.
Yeah.
People were getting into the program, and within a week they were making money, because it's one of the only opportunities where literally you can create an Amazon account today, walk into a store tomorrow, scan a product, and by the time you leave the store, it could have already sold on Amazon.
Damn.
Because there's just that much traffic on Amazon. I mean,
Absolutely.
over 50% of the US population has a Prime account.
Wow.
Not over 50% shops on Amazon, over 50% is paying Prime
Yeah.
to get the 1-day shipping.
Wow.
So it's just a crazy model. And we were getting people results before we even had Scam Profit, which now cuts the learning curve in half.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm all in still on this model. That's why even I have different businesses and different focuses as well. I never left e-com degree. It's always going to be my baby, and I'm always going to stay focused on it, because it's created the most impact out of everything I've done so far.
Yeah.
And it continues to create success stories on a daily basis. And now with Scam Profit, you just, it's limitless, like you said.
That's huge. So that's the way I love seeing info product and education companies made. It's all about success. Bro, I remember I would do anything my first year to help my students get successful. Maybe you even were in the trenches. I'm sure you were getting on one-on-one calls or putting more coaching time just to help somebody be successful, because at the end of the day, you can't grow your business unless you have this proven success story. Let's talk about how it's affected your coaching business a bit. A lot of coaches struggle with the ratio of coaches or instructors to students, right? You probably have to hire a lot of coaches. But a software allows you to automate some of the fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
Have you been using Scam Profit on the back end of your offer? Has it helped your fulfillment team? And what impact has it had on helping your students, helping your coaches do their jobs more efficiently?
Yeah, so owning your own SaaS that you can plug into your info business just streamlines everything in a variety of ways. Number one, you don't run into the issue of you're teaching your strategy, but all of your students could be using different products and different software. So it's one student might be using software A and another one's using software B, and you have to have trainings on all those different things. Whereas now everyone just uses the same software, and we have training on exactly how to use that software. So that's number one. Number two is the feedback that the students give you, like when you guys did that call, because we own the SaaS, we can actually implement the changes.
Yeah.
Imagine being an affiliate, your students are complaining about the software and you can't do anything about it. You're
Absolutely.
just like, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
so that's number two. And then number three, like you said, we don't have to have as many coaches because our software actually does a lot of the work. Before the SaaS, we actually used to, and we still kind of do it, but not as intensive as we used to. We used to have VAs that would do the product research for the students.
Oh my goodness, really?
And then we used to post like basically like product leads in the Discord. And we still do that, but now it's so easy for them to find their own products.
Yeah.
That it's like we don't have to waste money, paying all these VAs to post these product leads because the students can actually find their own products now that it's so simple for them to do so.
Definitely. And I'm sure it's helped you like not have to hire more coaches. You said you don't have to bring these VAs on anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly. So definitely saved us money.
That's crazy. That's actually what we do at Ambitious Labs too. Like we built our own custom learning platform. I know you're about to launch your own custom learning platform too, right? And I bet you some of the value of that is also to help your coaches do their job better. Because at the end of the day, like we want less coaches, so we make more money, but we also want to drive success the right way. So by having your own software that does your methodology the exact way that you want it to be done, I think mitigates any risk of your students not being successful. Also adds to your credibility. I mean, one reason that we want to get into software too, right, is like enterprise value. Software is one of the most, it trades at one of the highest multiples as opposed to any other business, right? If we were to sell an education business, likely we run into some key man risk issues because we have our face on it. But we've done a really good job at Scam Profit, operating it as a separate entity, separate brand. Obviously, we have you who funnels traffic into it. We also have other affiliates and influencers and distribution partners, and that's some of the value that I hope that I've been bringing to the table with you is like helping us potentially prepare the software for an exit. Is that part of the plan?
100%. That was part of the plan from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean that's what everybody wants to do, right?
Yeah.
It's like scale up, sell a software company for $100 million or more. So addressing some of those risks in advance, the key man risk, the diversification in traffic, those are things that are important for us to achieve our full valuation. As you know, we also have been offering some like M&A advisory services where we have an M&A specialist on our team who actively is buying and selling SaaS businesses at a very high level. He's got over 30 years of experience. We recently ran a valuation for Scam Profit. Not going to mention it on the call, or on this podcast, but we ran a valuation, and our M&A advisor was able to say, "Hey, this is the valuation today." And yes, it was over 7 figures, so I think we're doing good.
Yeah.
This is where we are today. This is where you guys want to go. I don't know what we want to sell for, 10, 20, 30 million dollars, maybe even more. To get to those targets, you need to hit this ARR. You need to have this churn figure. You need to be in business for longer than a year or two, because just having business history and sustainable P&L is enough to increase your valuation. So we've gotten those points of feedback from our M&A advisor, and now we're going to be executing on that. So for example, we're starting to work with influencers and diversifying the traffic. The brand Scam Profit, like it's not William AI, right? Or it's not Ecom Degree AI, it is Scam Profit. And so ideally one day we scale this up. We have you just as one of the affiliates driving traffic to it. We have other affiliates too. And given that you're so big in the space, you probably have a lot of relationships with other people. Maybe some of your students are so successful now that they've launched their own, YouTube channels and TikToks and Instagrams. That's actually happening, right? We've been on calls with a few of them.
Yeah, exactly. You sent me a text and you were like, "Yo, we need to do some partnerships." And I was like, "All right, give me like 24 hours." And I think I've put you in, I don't know how many group chats now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in 15 different group chats, and now I got to work with these influencers and get them online. But that bit of work is worth it. If we can spend the next 2 months onboarding these influencers, offload 50% of the traffic to influencers, bro, we triple our valuation.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of the best strategies because that's 15 different people and business owners that are actively working their ass off every day to grow their business. And now our SaaS is attached to their business growth like a jetpack. It's like as they grow, we just grow with them.
Yeah.
And a lot of the best SaaS companies, they operate in that way, where they're just attached to all of these different distribution channels. And as they grow, SaaS grows too. So great strategy. And I'm excited for that too. And then we're going to keep pumping out successful students in EDU as well. And they all go on to usually start their own like creator type education businesses. And they're always going to pick Scam Profit to be like the software that they promote.
No, for sure. We've had a lot of people who are like, yo, we just like Scam Profit so much more because we feel close to you guys. And we know that like you guys are delivering, and that, you know, you have the whole ambitious ventures team. We have a whole engineering department that's dedicated, and they literally feel that. We also have a Scam Profit channel inside of your community where people can just give us feedback directly on Scam Profit. And that has been super powerful as well, because we're a big believer in like audience, community, product. Like you have the audience, you have the community, and then we came in with the product. Obviously it was your vision. But with those three things, you have a feedback loop that is a cheat code, bro. I'm not gonna lie, you've made it look very easy to build a software business. We have other software businesses that we're invested in, that we're building. And like, bro, you just come to the table with, this is the vision, I got the traffic, and then within 24 hours, you loaded me up with influencers. And I'm like, bro, I know so many other founders who like spend years trying to crack this code, and you're just making it look easy. But I know it was probably 10 years of hard work.
Yeah, I mean,
all that stuff. I've been
in the Amazon space for 7 years, and I never pivoted into anything else until now. So I've just built so much credibility in the space. I've produced so many success stories that, again, like you said, a lot of the people that I connected you with that have 100K followers, 200K, they're in the Amazon space. You know, they're an ecom degree student.
Yeah.
And then they went on and built their own business. And then just, you know, also just pouring out value on social media and talking about info too. You know, you were at my mastermind not too long ago here in Miami, where I don't know how many people we had there, but it was completely free. And we were just sharing like the best strategies that work in info now. I feel like I've just poured out so much goodwill out into the world that I just have people that are ready to like just do me favors or like contribute to whatever it is that I have going on.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm able to connect you with so many people so fast, because they all have seen what I've done with ecom degree.
Yeah.
And they know that I'm honestly just here to help. Obviously we want to make money, but I'm always going to make sure it's a win-win situation with anyone that I'm partnered with.
Bro, I've known you for a short amount of time, but like you have been very straight edge, like super easy to work with, like you trust, and like I can just tell that like you're genuinely in the game to like help people. And you're one of those entrepreneurs that I think are successful because you delegate really well, you trust really well, and you empower people to do their job. I've never been successful working for or working with other people who love to micromanage, who don't trust, who bitch about $1 or $2. Like, you know how to pay people well, how to give people a lot of value, and I think that flywheel just turns over for you. But bro, I want to talk about your story. I think you've given a lot of value, and we've talked a lot about the app. Bro, I know people in Atlanta. You're from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Were you born
Well,
there?
I was actually born in Miami, funny enough.
Oh, for real?
But I moved when I was really, really young. Like I probably moved when I was like 2-3 years old. Grew up in Georgia, moved to Cincinnati, Ohio, and then I went back to Georgia for high school.
Oh, damn. Yeah. So I know a lot of people in Atlanta who know of you, and they're like, yo, William was grinding like in high school, after high school. You went to the community college out there, I think?
Yeah, I went to Georgia Gwinnett College for like half a semester.
Got you. And I heard that you were grinding really, really hard building this Amazon thing. And I'll be honest, people were probably talking a lot of shit.
Yeah.
People were probably like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, he's teaching Amazon. I know when I was working at PrizePicks and I told my original friend group, like, yo, I'm building this, you know, fantasy sports app. The first things were, oh, isn't that illegal? Oh, it's probably some like scam, you know, what are you doing, bro? Like, go get a job at Facebook. Like, you're too smart to be, you know, working at a little startup. It's never going to work. There's FanDuel and DraftKings. I remember when I built Season Share, my first company that I scaled to 10 million in GMV, people were like, oh, you're never going to compete with Ticketmaster. People just talk a lot of shit, bro. And then fast forward, you know, God is super good. Yesterday the team at PrizePicks, I don't take any credit, they sold for 2.5 billion. And now my phone's blowing up.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to me about that journey, because people are going to talk shit. Did you ever encounter that? And what made you get through that?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I got into entrepreneurship right out of high school, graduated in 2017. And although I did go to college, I knew that wasn't going to be my exit route. I immediately was looking at every other possible option.
Yeah.
And I tried everything. Like I tried reselling sneakers. I had a moving company at one point. I was doing like affiliate marketing. I was reselling iPhones on eBay, buying them on like buying them on like OfferUp and then reselling them on
I've done
eBay.
that.
Just
Yeah.
I was doing everything that you could possibly think of to try and make money, and I was doing it all publicly, like because I knew that building a personal brand was important. So imagine documenting your life and documenting you trying to make money, and then just failing over and over and over again in public. So obviously people were talking shit. When I got into Amazon, I dropped out of school because I knew that this was going to be my way out. It was Shopify at first, but just e-commerce in general. When I got into e-commerce, I knew that this was going to be my way out. Like I knew that this worked, especially because I was watching all these YouTube creators that were around my same age, 17, 18, making 100K a month. And I've always been the type of person where it's like, if someone is doing it, you know, I know that I can do it too.
Absolutely.
Because we're all human. So it's like, why, if someone can do it, why can't I? They obviously just know something that I don't know, but once I find out what they know, I can be there too. It's always been my mind frame.
That's far.
So I got into e-commerce, and I was just working every single day. I didn't have Wi-Fi at my house though. I lived in, at the time, I lived in Stone Mountain on Memorial Drive with my dad and my grandpa and my uncle sleeping on a mattress on the floor. And I would drive from there 45 minutes to Georgia Gwinnett College every single day because they had internet there. And I wasn't a student anymore. I would just go into a random conference room that was empty, and I would just grind.
Yeah.
And this was obviously before AI and all this. So I'm literally just building e-commerce stores, just cracked off like energy drinks, building a whole e-commerce store, loading it with products, getting the ads up. And I did that for about a year straight without making any money.
Wow.
And then I remember one day, like my phone did that Shopify cha-ching, and I had made like $3. And then that was the day that I was kind of like you said, that was the day that I decided that my life changed. Like I was like, okay, I'm about to be rich as fuck. Just off that $3, because that was my proof of concept that I wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much how it all started. And I documented it all on social media. So people saw me go from nothing to starting to make a little bit of money to then starting to make a lot of money. And that's how I built my personal brand.
Yeah.
And I always had what we're doing today in mind from the very start.
Yeah.
Like even when I was dead broke, I was like, the plan is I'm very good at this skill. I'm going to document myself getting good at the skill. I'm going to build a personal brand. I'm going to start an education company. And then that's how I'm going to make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
From day one, I knew that was the plan. And I knew it was going to take some time, but I was certain that it was going to happen regardless of how much time it took.
For sure.
And another thing too is that I think helped me on my journey was I wasn't trying to get rich quick. I actually gave myself time. I dropped out of college, and my whole mindset around that was, okay, it's going to take me 4 years to get a degree. So practically I'm not going to make money until 4 years from now anyways.
Wow.
So I'm going to get into this entrepreneurship thing, and I'm going to give myself 4 years. And I'm just going to bet on myself that in 4 years, I'll have a better outcome teaching myself than college would teaching me.
Absolutely.
And in 4 years, I became a millionaire.
Damn. And everyone else is 6 figures in debt and still taking the same class.
But, you know, people are always going to talk shit. I mean, people still talk shit today, even with the verified results and the work and the proof. So you're never going to get away from that.
I'm already hearing, bro, we sold for 2.5 billion, and I've heard the word lucky drop out of people's mouths already. And I'm like, luck is preparation and timing. And like, I wasn't lucky, bro. You can't be the head of mobile engineering at a unicorn startup without being extremely talented in some sort of skill. There was luck being at the right place in the right time, but there was all hard work, and nobody saw me. I had GERD, bro. I went to the hospital because I'd be coding 16 hours a day. You know, I would turn my laptop off and hide it because it gave me anxiety. And I was like, fuck this shit. I don't want to code. Like, I hated trying to fix bugs every single day. I would sleep at night knowing like, fuck, how am I going to fix that bug tomorrow? Or like my weekends would go like shit because I would leave a bug in the code on Friday and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to come back on Monday. And I couldn't even go out with my friends and be present in the moment because I'm like, damn, how am I going to fix that bug and get this release out for the team? You know? And when you're in a startup, it's do or die, bro. It's like, you got to ship these features. You got to hit the marketing deadlines. Otherwise, you know, the startup can't be there tomorrow. And I always put myself in these high stress situations because my dad never asked about my grades. Like, he would come to the dinner table when I was 12 or 13, and he would show me these Yahoo like news articles, like 12-year-old kid, you know, gets a job at Yahoo because he's some genius computer science and some genius coder kid. And my dad would be like, why aren't you this guy? Or he would see that like some 18-year-old sold an app to, you know, this company for $5 million and there was some 19-year-old millionaire. And that's the type of shit my dad exposed me to at the dinner table. He did not check my report cards. He did not care about my grades. He didn't quiz me on the spelling bee. He didn't check my multiplications table. He was like, bro, like this is the vision. Like you need to figure this out.
Yeah, that's a good dad.
It was cool, bro. It was cool. My dad knew the value of being educated. Like he knew the value of like having a degree. He wanted me to be in software, but he was also an entrepreneur. My dad's never worked for somebody.
Yeah.
So where was I going with that? Where I was going was the upbringing that I had was all about like doing what others weren't doing. So in high school, I didn't really go to class really, or in college, I didn't go to class. I was always working on startups. And my parents had never, been educated or worked in like, professional jobs. I'm not sure if that's the type of background you come from, but bro, it was a long game. Where I was going was, I remember now, only I know why, or like, only I know the stuff that I went through, the medical problems, the stress, the anxiety. I didn't make a lot of money working in startups. My first startup paid me like $3K a month. Prize Picks at the beginning, we had to take a salary hit, but it was a grind and it took a very long time. And another big thing was that for each startup that I did, it was a 4-year cycle. Like I worked at Season Share for 4 years. We grew that for 4 years. I exited my position there. And I look at companies like 4-year cycles as well, just kind of like how you were looking at not going to school as a 4-year cycle. And staying focused on one thing for 4 years, I think is the path. You get a lot of people now who are like trying to like dabble in too much shit, and they're never successful in any of them. How do you feel about that? Like now you've built an audience, and I think you have the leverage to like, get into a couple things.
Yeah.
Like what advice would you give to someone who, just like needs to commit?
Yeah, I mean, I think society tries to teach you how to think. And if you look at the majority of the population and you see how most people are living their lives, which is not the way that they want to live them, you'll start to understand that there's a lot of lies that we're taught. And instead of stacking skills and learning new things, you actually have to start out by unlearning a lot of the shit that was taught to you as you grow up. And one of those things is like, you hear people preach it all the time, and it's millionaires have 7 streams of income.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true in the fact that you need 7 streams of income to become a millionaire. The way that you should look at that quote is millionaires diversify their income once they have a lot of money. But for you to first get a lot of money, you have to put your blood, sweat, tears, everything into one opportunity until it grows into a big bag of money. Once you have that big bag so you mitigate your risk, then you can diversify it into like a bunch of different other things. But I think that's where a lot of people mess up is they hear that quote. Cause I used to think that way too in the beginning, right? In the beginning, I had my education company. I had a moving company. I was doing like a bunch of different shit on the side. And I was making like 10K a month across all of them put together.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, what am I doing?
For sure.
But I grew up like knowing that quote and thinking that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But instead you're just splitting your focus among so many different things. It's impossible to grow all of them. Yeah. Whereas you should just focus on one. So yeah, I mean, I would say if you're watching this right now and you're trying to make millions of dollars, you really, instead of having all these different opportunities that you're attacking, you should really sit down and take time to think about which one is the most lucrative and which one aligns with your skill sets the most, and just attack that, like Aleem said, for at least 4 years before you start stacking all these other things, because everything's going to drain your energy somehow.
Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with stacking businesses, but you were saying like I have a moving company and I got a sneaker flipping business, and I got an Amazon business. Like I think there comes a time where when you stack your audience and you stack that first win, you can build companies tangential, and you can vertically integrate. That's, I think, the play. For example, you have the Amazon education business, and now you're vertically integrating a SaaS that's pegged to your audience. Right. So you're extracting value in 3 or 4 different angles because of the one leverage point that you built, rather than like trying to build a moving company and an Amazon company at the same time. That's something that's been truly powerful for me too. Like as I've built my education business, Ambitious Labs, I've met people like you. I was able to, get back into building apps and get back into getting my hands dirty. After Prize Picks, I spent the whole next 2 years building an education business. And then I was like, yo, I need to get my hands dirty again. I need to start building. And then that's when I met you and we got back into building apps. And now we're going all in again on building software products. So yeah, man, I'm super excited to continue scaling with you. I hope next time we do a part 2 on this, it's after we sell for 8 figures or more. We're currently on track to do that, hopefully in the next year or 2. And yeah, man, it's been really cool scaling it with you.
I appreciate you having me, bro. And we're definitely going to film that next episode. 8-figure exit scam profit coming soon.
No, 100%. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you.